Time is our most valuable resource, no matter the budget. And being organised saves time both on and offset.
Calendars, to-do lists, folder structures, kit bags, kit storage. On any kind of set, it doesn't matter your role, you need to be organised. And even if you're not on a strict timescale on a job, being organised allows you to free up space elsewhere in the mind. Think of that last-minute idea for the shot list, or pick up on a detail you may not have spotted otherwise.
I want to share the many different ways that I stay organised, both digitally and physically, on and offset.
First up, the most basic of free digital tools that I use is Google Calendar. I regimentally block out the hours I'm working, and particularly when working on the post side of things where I'm billing for my hours, we'll go back through after the fact and amend time.
So I'm billing correctly and neither myself nor the client is getting mugged off. I organise everything in disgustingly satisfying colour blocks.
For me, everything that has to be diarised in my personal life is blue, and everything that is work-related is green. I also have a third colour to distinguish when I have kit being rented that isn't on a job with me.
The great thing about Google Calendar too is that you can share your calendar, if you so choose, with others. So in the instance of my relationship with my food reps here in the UK, Food Hall, they have access to my work calendar, which means they're not putting me forward for jobs when I'm not actually available, saving both of us the time and hassle to find out in the interim.
I'm a man of many lists. Life, work, this month, this week, today.
As an Apple user, I've tried a bunch of different apps over the years, but always come back to Apple's built-in notes.
Since the inclusion of the checkbox, I found it does the job, and you can share with others to collaborate when needed.
Beyond that, if you've watched my video about commercial producers, then you'll know about Trello.
I worked with producer Helen on this across a lengthy 6-month job that I went into great detail on recently. It doesn't cull meetings and catch-ups all together, but when we were vigilant with it, it was a super useful resource for firstly, knowing where each of us were at with our own to-do lists, and secondly, for having a central hub to link out to any resources we may have been using. In this instance, links to our various shared Google Docs and on Dropbox, because Google Drive sucks.
Recently, I've actually been experimenting with Milanote across a bunch of projects. And although it's not the first time that I've used this platform, I've come to learn that it can be great for collaborating too, which is kind of convenient because Milanote actually happened to be the sponsor of this video.
Milanote is an online canvas, a digital pinboard, if you will. It's great for staying organised and collecting all your thoughts in one space as you work through a project at any stage of production. I've actually been collaborating using Milanote on a recent job whilst shooting for another director remotely on a music video, which I'll get more into in the future. But it was super helpful to get an idea of what the director was after. It was almost like having access to a treatment that continually evolved throughout the planning stage as the director, the artist, and myself all had access to it. Aside from that job, I've also been making some slow strides as I work towards some more narrative work, which I've been chipping away at now over the past couple of years in the rare moments I have amongst my commercial work. And Milanote has really helped me in collating all my thoughts, ideas, and plans into one place. I've added working scripts, mood boards for cinematography inspiration of the sort of style I want to capture the world in, a whole host of dream music I've been building up on my Spotify playlists, a dream crew list that I want to reach out to, and when production does eventually get underway, I can use things like the built-in storyboard template to add in my plans and shot lists once the locations are nailed down and I've done some rough blocking of the scenes. And when it comes to bringing other collaborators on board for this, I can invite different heads of department to add their own thoughts and comments easily by adding them as editors to the boards. Whether you're a working professional or aspiring amateur, you can start organising your own projects in Milanote for absolutely free, and it couldn't be easier. Either building everything from scratch or working from any of their 100 plus built-in templates. To set up your own Milanote account, again, for free, sign up using the link in the description. There's a theme across these digital tools of easy collaboration, and when it comes to collaborative cloud storage, Dropbox is my preferred host. I find Google Drive really messy and a pain in the arse to download from if the receiver doesn't have it synced to their machine. Often, when working collaboratively with a production on a project, I'll invite them to access and edit a project-specific file that I'll create within Dropbox on my desktop, which then syncs every updated and added file with not only my online storage, but with theirs too.
The only thing that isn't ideal about this is because there are so many files being updated and synced all the time, that a lot of the notifications telling you that there is a new file to see tend to get ignored.
So a quick message is normally helpful.
Digital collaboration does make things so much easier, but I do tend to get a little overwhelmed at times with the widespread use of WhatsApp desktop, as well as collaborating with some in-house teams that use Slack for a number of projects. It can become hard to keep track of where all the information is. It's not uncommon to experience conversations going both ways that go something like,
I sent it to you yesterday.
Really? I must have missed that. Was it over email? WhatsApp? Slack?
Choice and preference is what makes life great, but it also makes things a pain in the ass when it would be way more efficient if we all just used one uniformed platform. However, that will never be. So if anyone watching has any great tips on how to stay organized and not overwhelmed in this area, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Within the world of Dropbox, no matter what platform you're using, the bigger the projects get and the busier you get, the more important becomes your folder structure.
Within my own, I have all my personal stuff organized separately to my work stuff. Bills, tax returns, just regular boring adult stuff.
In my work folder, things get organized like this.
With my most visited folders being color marked so I can pick them out quickly. The most important folder in there arguably is live projects, where I have all the information I have for jobs I'm either pitching on or in pre-production or post on. Normally, whichever is taking up most of my day-to-day will also have a direct shortcut over here in the sidebar, which if you didn't know, you can do by just dragging the folder into the sidebar and it'll create a shortcut for you. I don't yet operate a copy and paste folder structure here because each job is totally different in scale and nature.
But another area of my folded life where I do have a copy and paste structure is when it comes to post-production.
This default folder that lives in the root on my Dropbox gets copy and pasted onto every job I'm involved with post-production on, and I organize it like this.
I would make this available for free on the kitbag.shop.
But last time I did this for these frame guides, I woke up to a very large bill for download usage fees. So you're more than welcome to either copy what you see here or pay a meager 50p to cover the download and platform commission fees to save yourself some precious minutes.
If you're even the slightest bit of a gear nerd, you've probably seen these by now.
But if not, these are the best organization bags on the market.
For years, I've gone through far less durable ones off Amazon that are far less robust,
less label friendly, and a lot less downright sexy as these cord bags.
I should also mention that Cord Bag have very kindly gifted me a bunch of their products, but I've been buying a ton of their stuff since being introduced to them because they really are that great.
I take what I absolutely need with me on a shoot, plus a bit more just in case level of stuff. So some of these live full-time in crates in the van, on the cart, or in their dedicated Pelly cases. So this is my favorite case. This is my camera tools and accessories onboard monitor case. The only thing that's not bagged in here is my 703, which sits at the back here inside of this lovely little bit Trek pack. This is like largely AC type stuff, but I'm an everything man. I'm prepared. This gets used on every job. This is definitely the most used cord bag that I have, my tool bag, which somehow, even though this whole video is about organization, is missing the Allen keys from the last shoot. So I'd like to know where the have the Allen keys gone? Looking at you, Felix, because I remember that you were looking for some Allen keys. Beautifully organized HDMI and SDI. You'll see everything on this case is blue, and all of the cables are then blue as well. Shout out to Shrey. So everything's kind of semi-idiot proof. Like, hopefully, if I wasn't there, someone can work out that blue case, blue cables, it's got to go somewhere in that case. They'll find this. And then up here, I love these. This is pretty new from Cord Bag in the last half a year or something. Velcro, lens care, spigots, adapters. And these I kind of take on and off, leave in my office, the ones that I don't need. Just everything that hopefully you could possibly need on a job. And the amount of times someone's like, oh, has someone got this? I'm like, yes, I've got this. And you'll find it very clearly labeled in my accessories case. And they bloody find it. It's worth mentioning that whilst they are so much better than the cheapo pencil case style ones you can find on Amazon, they're also a lot more expensive.
But I've got you sorted there. If you use code ScottPeters over at cordbag.com, you'll receive 15% off your order.
I'll also receive a teeny weeny percentage from the sale too, but you'll be getting 15% off.
So consider it a win for us both. For bags that belong to specific cases, I've tried my best to keep it color-coded. The idea being that anyone, whether they know my kit or not, can pack this all away in pretty much the exact right spot after every shoot is finished. I have a whole host of different cases, both hard and soft-shelled, but my most frequently used ones are the soft think tank cases for jobs abroad and to keep my C-stands organised, and the creme de la creme of hard cases, Pelly. Over the past few years, I've tried to convert as many of my regular use kit cases as possible to air cases, because every kilo counts when you're flying for work. I've even gone as far as to custom pack and pad my Aperture 1200 and 300Ds so they take up less space in the van and are fit for travel overseas. Then with a bunch of my frequently used cases, if they're not lined with Trek Pack for housing my many cord bags, they've been absolutely sorted out by the amazing Charlie over at ncase.co.uk, who do beautiful bespoke custom foam inserts, engraved nameplates, and a bunch more amazing products, including the Genius Thermocase for when shooting in cold environments. This is what I've wanted for years. I've just never found somewhere until last year when I discovered Ncase that does such a smart job of it. If you get in contact with the team at Ncase, they'll discuss and get an understanding of your requirements, designing you something not only strong and sturdy, but sexy too. Again, I tried to bring the color coding over to this world as well, in an attempt to make everything simple and semi-idiot proof when packing away, whether I'm involved in the packing or not. V-Lock batteries are a larger, more expensive pain in the ass, but the shoots that those batteries are on tend to be the ones where I at least have one camera assistant helping to keep an eye on them, making sure they're all charged and marking up any uncharged ones at the end of the day so I can save time before the next shoot. But for all those batteries that don't cost £100 a pop, I have this delicious looking charging station that I built and mounted on the wall in my office. It's neat, easy and efficient to use and keeps everything out of the way in this deceivingly small space that has become my working home. There's a bunch of people that have done this now. It's nothing new, but I still find it very satisfying even several years deep into its existence here at home. It covers my Panasonic Lumix S1H batteries, the MPF batteries that often power various on-camera monitors and wireless transmitters, as well as all of the rechargeable batteries it took me far too many years to implement across things like sound recorders and mic packs. If you wanted to make something like this yourself, you'll need a pegboard, multi-plug adapter, cable ties, chargers, some sort of cutting tool to make these holes big enough to feed wires through, and to finish it off safely, I bought this super cheap car edge protective trim to make sure wires don't rub against the sharply cut metal underneath. I'll leave your country's relevant Amazon links to the items I used to build mine in the video description. Lastly, with all of the stuff that lives and is stored at home, how do I keep that organised? Well, a strong and sturdy shelving system with brackets mounted on all the joists is a must. But this is where my label maker comes into its own once again. And then I organise my various accessories into the relevant crates. Within these less frequently accessed compartments, where I've needed to, I've used those less durable, cheaper zip bags to organise accordingly. I'm not going to show you where I store my most expensive kit, but trust that it's safe and secure and well looked after in between shoots. And then of course, there's how everything is stored and transported on the van. But that's for another video. A long overdue final part 2 of the van build, coming to a YouTube near you this year. Possibly. But you can watch part 1 of that van build now to get an idea of how I made a start on approaching that organisation. And if you still haven't, make sure to subscribe for more semi-helpful tips and interesting insider industry knowledge.